So, good afternoon. I'm here on the new spot. It's the opposite side of the ridge spot, the other side of the lake. And I already found some kind of blade core or piece of blade core. Which time period I have no clue. Could be everything. Maybe they also reuse it as a scraper. But I think at first it was a blade core. Where they take something off. Nice. First point of interest. Moving on. What is this? Maybe, or maybe not. Yes, it is. A nice piece of blade. Should be something Mesolithic, I think. Really nice. That's a bulbous dorsal distal. I don't think they do any retouch. Also, I wouldn't say roughly made, but it's with a lot of hinges and so on. But absolutely nice. Fine piece of blade work. So, I'm on the right spot. Over there is the lake. I think behind this hedgerow, because you can also see some over there. Some it should be a well, some kind. So I think this old hedge is the former lake shore, or absolutely near to it. So, moving on. So, besides some spirits, I found this. I have no clue what it is, but it looks flaked. Maybe it was a rear part of a Mesolithic core axe. But I have no real clue. Crocodile head. Maybe also just a blade core. I have no idea. I just leave it here. It's not the nicest weather at all. It's this point before it starts snowing. Absolutely disgusting. But I was able to find a small Mesolithic blade core. Microlith or macrolith. It's not really that small. But they're taking a few off. Nice. I have no idea which Mesolithic period. Somewhere in the Mesolithic. I'll also just leave it here. Okay, moving on. I told you we are next to the shore, and there you can see what's I think it was a mole or something like this. I have no idea, but they dug up sand, pure sand. So nice habitat for people to live. Nothing. But I, to be honest, estimated more. I really estimated more. Maybe it's the wrong side of the lake. Maybe. One second. this here in the tip could be some retouch, but then it's a scraper in the roughest form. So I have to take a look. But here you can see really coarse sand. We will see. Okay, moving on. Here's another scraper. There's some retouch to dull this corner, and there's some hollow retouch, concave retouch for shaping arrowheads, I think. I think that is also a burren tip, but nothing so special. And here's another beat up blade core. It doesn't look that it worked out well. So, also me, I just dump it. But that is a nice piece. I think Mesolithic. Dorsal end of a blade. Looks like guts. But moving on. So here's the next scraper. It looks a little bit more than Neolithic. I would guess Mesolithic, but here you can see the scraper retouch, and I think it's also does this and take something as a retouch this side as well, that you don't cut yourself. So, but I think, what do I think? I think it's Neolithic, I would guess. Even if there's Bock patina and patina beginning here, it's roughly made, but you can't 100% sure. Can't be 100% sure. But it's a difficult spot. I estimated more, as I said. A few flakes here, a few blades there, but it's not that you find proper tools. So I just leave the, oh, this should be also some kind of flake, but moving on. Oh, also slowly coming to an end. But here's another small bladelet, dorsal part. Here's the bulbous. Here you can also see the bulbous, or the negative of a bulbous, or of a flake. Don't look retouched. So it's really cool. My face is totally numb. But normally this should be a Mesolithic spot. But even if there are some blade cores, there are no arrowheads. No nothing. I just take one quick look on this ridge and then I'm done. If there's something, I come back, otherwise I say bye-bye, thank you for the fish. What is that? That is nothing. Okay. So, one last, this macro blade should be the distal end. Prismatic, I think it should be Mecklenburger with his bigger blades, but also some retouch. Nothing fancy, I just leave it here. Moving on. Also, no, I'm finished for today. I'm not moving on, but I will take a quick look on one spot. Okay, bye bye. So, now I try something totally crazy. I try to find some amber on a field, because amber was always traded in the Baltic region, and from finds they know that they put it in the graves, but you never know how good they survive in the soil. Sometimes you find something, sometimes not. I never found something, but in the grave hills I find something constantly, and I think mostly it's, oh, that's also just flint, but you never know. It's just a try and error. So I will do it for a few minutes and then I will be finished. Okay, if I find something I'll come back, but I don't think so. So, I'm back on the ridge, and the Bromme spot is over there. And last week there was a meeting of the colleges, and I showed them my finds that I relate to the Bromme culture, and mostly they agree, but they also give me not the order, but I should search all this area for more evidence of the Bromme guys. Not only on this spot, because every year they change the spot, especially if it's not, if it's just in hunting camp. Okay, but now I'm moving on. Let's go. Oh, now I came all this way down there just to walk in the service lines of the tractor. But now this should be a nice blade. Oh yes. But it's not worked. Is it hinged or broken? I think it's hinged. It's running out before time. But that should be Mesolithic. Looks nearly fresh. I have to take a look at the walnut lines. There's nothing on it. I think it's just maybe Mesolithic. It looks like it was done with an antler tool, indirect percussion. But it's strange because On this end you can see that the vinyl lines are running in the opposite direction. That is the dorsal end, distal end, and this is in the opposite direction. So it could be Paleolithic. I have to take a look at home. Maybe it's also just a bipolar Mesolithic blade. I have to take a look at home. But anyway, nice. Perfect. So, and just beside of it, I also just found this. It should be a drill or a bore of some kind. At first, when it was still dirty, I thought it could be a Brummel point, but there's still cortex on it. But that should be a drill made of a half natural piece, it looks like. Nice. There you can see the retouch. Just drop it. Moving on. Oh, also excuse for the wind noise, but now I found this nice flake scraper, I should call it. I think so, it's a flake scraper, because focus. It's hard to see, but maybe in this direction. There you can see that they do some retouch, but really coarse. Maybe that is also some retouch, but I think it's farm damage. Really rough, but no idea which time period. No patina, no nothing, so I think it's mostly Neolithic, I think. Okay, but moving on. So, I don't come much further. I don't know what this is. This could be something. I don't know. I think that is farm damage. I don't think it's, but it could be also some kind of bird, but you never know. And where was it? That one over here? I just stepped on something. That is when you focus on the spot in the field. Again, a macrolithic. I think it's a cleaning part because this one hinged, but it hinged in the wrong direction. There's a dorsal end, distal end. Don't know if it's broken. Could be also a fake burn, but I don't think it was from trapezoid arrowhead or transverse. I think it's just broken. So, but it looks like the first strike came from the distal end, then it hinged, and then they turn it around. Nice patina, but nothing special. Point of interest, and that with this piece. Okay, moving on. So, now I'm a little bit excited, because I have no clue what it is. That looks like retouch. And the tip is also retouched. I don't know if this was a Hamburgian point. But the problem is, there's no evidence that the Hamburgian culture was here. The earliest on this spot is now Arnsburg culture. I think it's about 2000 years later. No idea. Point of interest, I show it to the archaeologist and then we will see. Oh, after a lot of spells, I found this little fella. I think it's some kind of drill. Maybe it's also some kind of, it could be a burn, because there you can see also some use in this edge where the dirt is collecting. But yes, I think it's a burn. It's a half natural piece. They also retouched the upper edge, and then they do a burn strike that they can get this steep corner. So I think it's some kind of tool. I have no idea which time period. Could be everything. No clue. Point of interest going on. So now I find this macrolith blade core, multi-directional, really multi-directional. They came from every direction to beat up this stone. It's a nice dark material. So this is, I don't know if it's rust or block patina, but they tried every direction. Something Mesolithic. Mesolithic is okay, Neolithic, I don't call it boring, but it's, this area is littered with Neolithic stuff. So, point of interest for the archaeologists, and then I'm moving on. Oh, and now I found this, I think it's a small end scraper, because it got retouched. Retouch in the tip, really nice and small, and I think there's also some slight retouch. Could be also farm damage, you never know, but this is retouch to dull these edges. Oh, I catch a cold. Yes, a small scraper. No idea which time period. On this spot it could be everything. Okay, moving on. So, now I found this piece. I think it's some kind of cutting tool, because there you can see the retouch. It's retouched from the upper side, from the lintel. Oh, I have no idea, I have to look in the book. So, maybe it also was once hefted, but I don't think so. I think you just put your finger somewhere there, I have no idea, and then you can cut something with it. Maybe, no, I think like this, but I have no clue. First I take it with me, point of interest. Oh, sorry. But it got only 2 degrees Celsius outside. Just 2 degrees from freezing. And what is that? That also looks like some kind of blade core. Got some flakes on it. Even every direction. Not the prettiest one. Just leave it here. Unknown culture. Sorry. Here's the next piece. Oh, that is nice. I'm so sorry for the sound. So, no retouch, no nothing, just a piece of blade. Should be the distal end. I think it's just from preparing a core, because there's some cortex on it. Nice. Moving on, but at first I take this one. Ah, that is false alert. Okay, moving on. So, and now I got this nice flake scraper. It got slight retouch all around. That is a little bit sloppy, but all around, it's really nice. Nice flake scraper. And wonderful. Nice translucent. I think when it was done it was nearly clear, so it should be some boggish influence. Okay, but moving on. So here's another nice spell. Just a cleaning part. All running in one direction. So nothing special. No scraper, retouch, no nothing. Moving on. So I changed the fields because I walked all these tractor lines. Now I'm on the Bromme field again. This should be a nice section of blade. Nothing special. Just a piece of blade. Should have been antler struck because the bulbous is so small. It's a cleaning part of a blade core. The side crest. Maybe they also use it as a burren or some kind of drill. I have no idea. Maybe there's some. This looked like retouch. But it's just a carving tool. Nothing fancy. Okay, point of interest, moving on. So, another tool. I think so there's some retouch. There you can see it. Maybe there's also some retouch to dull the edges. Also there's some retouch. It always could be some kind of farm damage, but I don't think so. I think it was some kind of burn or scraping tool. I don't think it was a cutting edge. Maybe it was a cutting edge, just to put a finger in some kind of rest and then cut. No idea about the time period. No clue. Okay, moving on. So, now I found this fella on the Bromme spot. Clearly some kind of blade core. And it's an extremely nice angle for a Paleolithic blade core, because they use this long elongated blades to to do their Brommel points. But it looks like it hinged too much, and then they just discard it. They try it from both sides, from there and from the upper side, but it doesn't work out very well. But a nice piece of banded flint. Okay, moving on. Yes, slowly I'm coming to an end. In the beginning I was totally obsessed of the idea that Paleolithic stuff must be well patinated, nearly white. That's not totally wrong, because if it's white patinated then it must be old. But this spot shows that also this Velensgräber from Federmesser culture could be nearly unpatinated. And that means chunk of burnt flint. Could be an evidence from campsite. And by the way, here's another, I have no idea, kind of drill. It's retouched all around. Also there, some kind of drill or carving tool. Also here it's dulled. Just leave it here. So, what I want to say. But you have to keep your eyes open. That's for sure. Okay, moving on for the last bit. Over there, over the hill, then I'm done, totally finished, ready for today. In the evening I have night shift. If there's nothing coming anymore, bye bye and thank you for the fish.